Bombing, episode 123.
Look at that, dude. You moved the red couches.
I
was thinking I was getting on a set with the red couches.
That was Dante's apartment.
You pulled a switcheroo.
You know what? You're right. Let's all hop in the truck. We'll drive to Dante's.
Jesus Christ, man.
Are we rolling right now?
We are rolling,
That's
Bo
perfect.
Bigelow.
What's your aunt's name? This is gonna make sense in a second.
I don't think we should say it.
No, I'm gonna pull it up.
It's Leslie.
Leslie,
Okay, yeah.
Aunt Leslie. If you're watching this, I'm a great guest that they've had on so far. I saw you comment on the last one, and I know you're watching, so
Oh my God.
just know,
Yep.
just know that we hear you. Your comments are. I read it. Great point. I watch their podcast every week too, and it's always makes me laugh. And they finally invited me, and not finally. I had to earn my stripes first.
Earn your
And
What, those stripes? The ones on your
yeah,
pants?
these ones. These are the exact stripes.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Bo Bigelow.
Episode 123, man. 123.
1, 2, 3. That's a good episode number.
That's a great number.
We're gonna get probably 100K views on this or something like that. I'm just ballparking, but
Yeah. Probably something like that, close to that.
it's got to be. Although Eddie Damstra and shit, I just dead named him.
Did you just drop EJ's real name on the podcast?
You're not supposed to say that.
You're going to get him fired, dude. He's going to lose his day job.
And he works at 511.
Yeah.
Bleeping
You know,
all
remember
names on
that
this
time
thing.
you guys were drunk and did a podcast?
Oh, I don't remember that time.
Yeah.
That must have been at like 5 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone left while the sun was coming up. It was the worst idea we ever fucking had. It was a complete disaster. But here's the thing about that is that like in the moment I was like, we got all the heavy fucking hitters in one room.
This pod is
We're all gonna fucking make it by doing this, and like it just made sense. And then I remember Ryan showed me the footage the next day. I was like, we can't show this to anybody.
It was awful.
This has to be deleted
Really?
immediately.
It was awful.
But you
Yeah.
still posted it.
No.
No, we deleted it.
The what do you mean?
The forbidden one you're talking about with
Yes.
Brian, EJ, Cole Clayman.
Yeah.
We posted about it.
Seemed more just like an open mic. At that
Yeah.
point.
It was. It went about as well as an open mic too.
Have you ever heard the term "too many cooks in the kitchen"?
I sure have.
Yeah.
Did you run into that problem at all, or?
A little bit. There was a lot of mics, a lot of talking going on.
You ever heard of that term everyone uses? Too many booze in the bloodstream.
Yeah.
That was the biggest problem.
Yeah.
So it was more that than the amount of people that were there.
Yeah, and because we didn't start it until like 2 a.m.
It's crazy.
Oh my god.
Well, because we've told this story before. It's because we just got out of Dante's show at the Hotel Cafe, and we all went to a Frolic Room, like Hollywood and Vine.
EJ loves that place.
Yeah, dude, that place rules. It has like a very like still dive kind of feel.
EJ loves that place. He's a huge alcoholic.
You're listening, law firm.
Yeah. And then and we just like we were already like a little banged up at that moment. And we were like, we should film this. Let's all go back to the apartment and record this.
Oh God.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, this is also the first week the Zebra Room has officially opened.
That's right. I like
Bri-
what Brian did with that place.
Yeah, I said to him, I had this pre-planned. Basically, I said, "Yeah, I'm going on their podcast. I'll mention the Zebra Room." That's what I just did. If you saw that, it's a little sleight of hand.
Wow, that's
so.
very
And
clever.
he goes, well, I'm doing it in like a week, so I can just mention it.
Why would
And
he
I'm not
be-
shitting on
Yeah,
him.
why
but-
would he be so? That's rude.
Yeah, I go.
What the fuck? Okay.
I'm just trying to say that I ran their mic from 4 to 5.
Yeah,
5 to
God
6.
forbid your buddy helps you out, gives you a shout out on the
Yeah.
podcast. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Just for that, we're gonna bleep the name of this place.
Yeah.
No
Dude,
free
that's-
promotion.
That's hilarious.
Shout out Fourth Wall. I love Fourth Wall.
Fourth wall, gang, dude.
Had some times there.
That's so funny.
No, the mics went okay as they just not a lot of energy.
Are you hosting?
Tried. Yeah, I was hosting. You know what?
You and Energy are fucking
No,
hand in hand.
but I was the only one.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, actually, I will say this. You know what really is annoying, and I feel like you guys would appreciate this. You know when a mic is going shit, and you're like, oh yeah, I don't care. I'm just gonna fucking, everyone else is sucking, and then the guy right before you just destroys.
Yep.
Like lights out, and you're like, oh okay, so it's just that I'm a shit comic, and this guy fucking kills.
Yep.
Yeah, you start blaming everything else except like what you wrote down. You're like, this fucking room sucks. It's raining. That's why I'm bombing because it's raining.
Yes,
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's the way. It's God for some reason. It's everything but what you fucking brought there. No, dude, I get in that mood all the time. It's so frustrating. And especially like you were saying, like you're going up towards the end. There's like 2 people after you, and like you and everyone before you just bombed, and you're like, well, it's everything but me.
Yeah.
And then like
at least the whole mic sucked. It
yeah,
wasn't
and then like
just
the
me.
last 2 people are killer, and you're like, fuck, dude.
Man.
This stinks.
You guys did that to me, actually.
Really?
I remember the night that I met y'all. I was at Badger and Jam, and
Classic.
It was me, Nick. I like had just started. I was like 2 months into comedy, and like I thought Nick Dervasla was like a god. I was, and me, Brian, and Nick did 4 mics, and I sucked at all of them. And
wow.
I told Nick, I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. And he's like, Bigelow, you're good. He's like, Seinfeld says to do fucking 1 trillion quadrillion mics a night, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. All right, next one.
You do a good Nick, by the way.
That's pretty good.
We're all gonna make it,
Well,
guys.
what's going on, baby? and we go, and it's exactly that. Everyone sucks. I suck, and then you 2 fucking assholes ruin that for everyone and go up and kill. And I'm like, dude, like that sucked. That's so annoying.
Not for us.
I couldn't. You say
Yeah.
like I couldn't sleep that night. I was like,
Yeah.
why did those 2 douchebags?
I remember that very differently. I remember driving the car on the way home going, that went great.
That was a great mic.
I had an awesome time. That's my version of the story.
God, I love doing comedy.
No, you must have caught us on a good night.
Yeah, we got plenty of bad bombs out there. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I wonder if there's people who have only seen you kind of do bad.
Yeah.
And in their head, they're like, he's bad. Like, Ryan's bad.
I thought that about you too. You guys were the guys I was nervous. I was like, because I did my show, which was dumb as fuck.
The Bo Show.
And then I was like, God damn it, these guys think I'm a fucking idiot now.
I think you're hilarious.
Thank you.
The Bo Show, dude, in a boxing ring.
Yeah.
When's the Bo Show coming back?
It's gonna come back. I think honestly, dude, it's funny. Like when I say I watch your pod, I actually do. Like
Oh, thanks, man.
Thank you, man.
That sounds like such a backhanded. I didn't mean it that way.
I'm not just lying.
No, I
Yeah. I'm not lying like everyone
I
else
said
that
it, I'm
says they
like-
watch the pod.
But you
Everyone else
said-
doesn't watch the pod.
you
I
said
watch
something
it.
about doing all like not regular stand-up shows on your last one, and you're right. Like it's when you do something like my entire vision for that show was how can I do a show where everything purposefully goes wrong?
Yeah.
You know, like how can I do a show that's so clearly like dumb and like doesn't like every fucking aspect of it purposefully is like wrong.
Yeah.
And when you do something like that, a lot of things go wrong that you didn't plan on them going wrong. And then it worked me up because I'm like the mic, for instance. I did not plan for that to happen. Someone after the show goes, "Hey, that was so funny when you had the mic go out." I go, No. I wanted a mic because that's like the number one tool to do stand up with.
That's all you need.
But yeah, it's crazy because it really like with stuff like that, it really is trial and error because you then like learn from certain things.
Well, let's set the scene for the Bo Show. This was not in a. First off, was the venue? It was a boxing ring, by the way.
Which was sick. I mean, I'll pat myself on the back.
It
for
was
that.
sick. Was that part of the vision? Like, not only is like a bunch of crazy shit gonna happen, it's also gonna be in this weird gym.
Yes.
That was part of it.
We tossed around doing it at like a pool at one point or something like that.
In the pool?
Where like people would be in the pool in the stage.
Dude, that's gold.
I think we're gonna do that at some point. I'm not like we've talked about it
That's
again,
awesome.
The pool show. That's hilarious. That's gonna be so cold. People are gonna freeze to death.
but maybe a hot tub on the side. But
Stand up in a pool. You could have Misha be the lifeguard.
you're saying that the comic is also in the
Yes,
pool,
everyone's in the pool.
but they're slightly risen above.
Yes. And there's like chairs. Like the chairs are in the shallow end, and they're sitting in chairs in the pool. That'd be awesome.
I love like all the mic and speaker equipment's like running through the water. It's just like live wires underneath. Like, so electricity's weird, right, guys?
The mic gets twisted and everyone just gets electrocuted.
That would be so funny. And never address
Everyone
it. Just
died.
never address the pool. And film it and post it. Dude, that would be awesome.
Everyone goes to clap.
No splashing, guys. No splashing.
I said no running.
The Bo show was fun though, man. Clayman and I almost got in a fight at your show.
Really?
Yep.
What happened?
Like you know what I thought was the funny, honestly, and I talked to Haley, shout out Haley, my producer of that production. The funniest thing to me was that I think from my point of view, it was way funnier than any other point of view, because especially when we had like hecklers and one side, it was set. Did you go?
No.
It was set. It was a boxing ring, so the stairs were like stadium seated around the boxing.
Oh, I heard about it. Yeah.
Yes, but one guy starts losing his mind heckling Nick, and Nick doesn't have a mic, so he can't even raise his voice higher. And then one side of the ring was like, "Hey, buddy, fuck you! Like you can't fucking say that." And then the third side was like, "Hey, man, like let him finish his act. Yeah, let him finish his act." And then he would chirp back at them. So it was just like all the audience members were just like getting in a fight while Nick is on stage, and I enjoyed that. Like. That was
It was chaos.
Like
It was fun. And then Nick, I think I yelled. I was just like, I think I yelled like, "Hey, shut up!" Like not in a funny way. I was like, "Cut it out." And then like I saw Clayman sort of like he was ready. Clayman was ready to fucking pounce,
Bash
dude.
some fucking skulls in.
And then Nick had this great line. I forget what he said. He did some funny line, and then like he looked at the heckler and like flipped him off and got off stage. It was great.
Yeah, the reactions I've gotten from that is there's like really good traditional stand-up comics who I know. You'd probably consider yourself pretty traditional with both.
Yeah.
Of you, right? Like
100%.
some of that corner that was there was like, dude, that's the worst fucking shit I've ever seen in my entire life. And I would just be like, yeah, you're probably right about that. And then like a unique like spectacle of like 6 people were like, that's the best show I've ever been to. Like,
Yeah.
please do that again, and I will, for the record.
Oh, it was so funny. I mean, things were going wrong. You had like an applause and a boo sign. I think a sign that would just go off every like 48 seconds. It just said like boo or something.
Heckle.
A heckle, yeah. And it was just
Wait, so you had a problem with a heckler and you had a sign that asked them to do just that? That's shocking.
this guy was out of line.
What was interesting is Nick comes in hot, just ripping on minorities, like just everything that he would ever do.
Who, Durant?
Oh yeah,
It was so unlike him that night. It was
yeah.
crazy.
I've never seen him do that, and this guy he didn't like it, and he got mad, and like you said, like the point of the show was sort of to make the audience involved in a weird, like it wasn't a stand-up show by any instant, by any measure. I mean, but then it was clear that he was really mad. Like he wasn't just like going along with the show because we had a heckle sign. It was like, no, this guy wanted to fight Nick. Mm-hmm. And there's not much as a host that I can really do about that, especially with no mic.
Mm-hmm.
The show must go on.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think at one point you had someone like just run in and like tackle you or something, or yell at you, and then they had to they got like fake escorted out of the building.
Yeah.
It's like just everything went wrong on purpose.
Bo, I love you. I wasn't at this show, but I feel like it would have pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah,
it would have made me mad.
No, and Hayden, I know you. You
It
would have hated this.
It would have
You would
upset
have
me,
hated
dude.
this.
Yeah.
I'm trying right now. I'm trying to make it more of a sketch show in a way, where I think, like, we had a lot of ambitious ideas that I think work better if no one does stand up, and there's just like some interview process or something like that like kind of is like wacky, like Eric Andre-ish, I guess would be the closest comparison. So I'm working on it, to say the least. But I have a regular stand-up show. Is it Aunt Lisa? Is that?
We're not naming
I
names.
just want to tell her to come if she's.
It's Aunt Leslie. Yes,
Aunt
it's
Leslie. I'm
Leslie.
doing regular stand-up.
Quit talking to our aunt, dude. You don't know her.
Leave her alone, dude.
So yeah, if you need a ticket, you're on the list. You don't need to buy one.
Every time when Tom Kelly comes on the podcast, he says our mom's name. He goes, Wendy, if you're watching, I know it's like, what are you guys doing?
Oh man.
That's hilarious.
I'm not the first to do that.
Well, if you're
To shout out relatives'
names. Oh God. No more names on the podcast.
All right,
everybody.
I'm not naming anyone anymore.
What's the show called you're doing on Sunday?
It's called Electric Comedy.
Right on.
And
This isn't the pool one again, right? This is
no,
a
this
different-
is just sit there, do
Okay.
stand up,
Cool, tight.
and introduce comedians.
Very tight.
That's it. No gags, no gimmicks. Just me, a mic, and a crowd of onlookers.
No gimmicks. Bo
No
Bigelow
gimmicks.
doing no gimmicks.
There's no gimmicks.
But you love gimmicks.
I do like gimmicks.
You might be the king of gimmicks.
You think so?
I think so.
You think that's flattering.
I mean, you like a gimmick. You like a gag. You like a goof.
A gag. Whoa.
Hey, pause. Big gag guy over here.
Your family watches this.
It's a family show.
I do like a gimmick. You know what I like about you is you guys keep the mic in the mic stand.
Sometimes, yeah.
Ryan does that a lot.
Yeah.
I never do that. I like.
Yeah.
I take it out. I like smashing it down because I need something to lean on.
Yeah.
And like
yeah,
I'll,
you put your hand on it sometimes?
yeah, I'll use it too as like a prop. I don't know. I like touching it. Pause.
A gag and a touch.
I've been taking it out recently.
Pause.
I twirl it sometimes.
we got to stop with all the sexual innuendo here,
Yeah, man.
folks.
So anyway, like
been
last
whipping
night
it
I was
out.
putting it back in actually. Into the mic stand, guys. I'm talking about the mic stand.
Yeah, there's something fun to just walking up and just not even touching the mic, and just talking, and then even like leaning with it, like leaning towards somebody,
Yeah.
standing back, and then like when you're about to say a punchline, you kind of like go forward with it.
Yeah, I've seen you do that.
Yeah, but it's not too. I don't think about it. It just kind of happens.
Stand up is fun.
It is fun, isn't it?
If you could take anything from this pod, stand up is fun. Sometimes.
Even when it's bad, it's fun. Even when it's bad.
Yeah, not that night. You have to like sleep that off. You have to wake up the next
What,
morning.
the
and go-
night that you suck?
Yeah, the night that you bomb. Yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of have to like go to bed, like lock the gun, and then go to bed.
Yeah.
and then wake up the next morning and go, okay, all right, that's I'm over this. I'm past this.
You guys have guns?
No.
Come
No.
on. I mean, who knows?
the way the apartment is set up, I'd be like, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
This looks like there's a gun in the apartment.
Yes. There's a giant Tennessee flag.
Yeah.
You got just like a huntsman over there. I don't even. Oh, is that Dangerfield?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
That's
shit.
That's a life-size Dangerfield cutout from Caddyshack.
Oh, my God.
And he's holding a gun.
That's so sick. Dude, I heard Dangerfield like was doing stand-up in his 20s from a different name. Are you guys big Dangerfield fans?
I'm familiar
I like
with this. Yeah, he had to quit to sell like roofing or something like industrial siding, and then he picked it back up in his 50s.
Yes.
And that's when it took off.
It was, and it's like he was selling like you said, something rogue, like it was like steel or something like that.
It's like roofing material.
Yeah, and then I've been hanging with this comic who was like running the New York clubs at one point, but I don't think it was like when he was, but obviously there's like a lure, and I think he talks about it in his book, but he like did the Tonight Show and then like was in the fucking like car and he's like, yeah, I gotta go sell steel tomorrow. Like he was still like connecting dots in his brain, like, oh, it's things I still need to make a living and stuff. You know?
It's like I just did the biggest thing ever, and now it's like back to work.
You hear all those stories about like the old days of the Tonight Show where it's like it was the opposite of that. Like you'd have like a day job waiting tables, and then you like went on the Tonight Show and killed, and then the next day like you were famous. You didn't have to work ever again.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm actually unsure, but that is crazy though, right?
Yeah, like your life would literally change
your life.
overnight.
Yeah, you went from doing clubs to like selling out clubs. Selling out across the country.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
You're just like a coal miner, and you're like, yeah, doing the fucking Tonight Show tonight. And the next day, you're just fucking destroying at MSG.
Selling out places.
And dude, now it doesn't even matter. Dude, this podcast will get more views than the Tonight Show. No one gives a fuck. Who is it? Fallon.
Fallon.
No one cares about the Tonight Show anymore.
Nope. It's unfortunately it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, unless he wants to give any three of us a spot.
Yeah, then I'll do it.
Then yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Down.
Yeah. Unless I'm approached, then it's the greatest show
Yeah,
in the history
no,
of
you're
television.
great.
It's an institution.
But yeah, there is no like Yeah, I mean, I'd totally do it for that footage.
You totally do the Tonight Show. It's like, bro, we're doing mics at Badger and Jam.
I consider the Tonight
Yeah.
Show.
I mean, if they want to reach out to me, maybe.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
it just doesn't have that. It doesn't mean what it used to. You know what? Fuck it. I'd rather do Badger and Jam.
Oh, you don't mean that. Come on.
Come on, you on the Tonight Show.
Dude, I'm Team Badger forever, dude. That's the best
That
mic.
place is awesome.
It's the best open mic in town.
I agree. Although, have you been to the Zebra Room?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there the other night.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's a nice
It's
little
awesome.
setup.
It's crazy how just switching out chairs changes the entire place.
Yeah.
Because the I think it was like third wheel before that. Whoever ran it before, the chairs just sucked. They were just like scattered around the place. Brian went and got real chairs, like comfortable cushioned chairs.
Yeah.
And scattered them throughout the room.
With
Yeah.
those little side tables.
Yeah, the side tables too.
Yeah, they make like I totally agree. It's beautiful in there, truly. I was in there today and I forget who it was, but some of our friends were just there doing work on their laptop. And I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. Like this is just a place for us to hang to some degree, you know, as
Yeah.
a group." So,
And that's what we needed, dude. That's the best because, like, you know, we after a mic or something, you'd like just sit in a parking lot with the other comics and buddies.
That's
Yeah.
what Badger used to be.
Yeah, and
where
just
they
we talk for
took
like
that shit.
hours
have you ever written a joke from that?
from.
Just legitimately, you do a show and then at like 10 and then at 11 you're just hanging out for like 2 hours and you're just like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
oh yeah. Like we'll bounce bits and like or give tags. When I'm watching someone on stage, I'm like thinking of tags to give them
Yeah.
and or like what direction I would have gone or like I would have said this, and then I always say like take it or leave it. Here's what I thought maybe, and most of the time they use the tags, which is nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there anyone that hasn't?
Yeah, plenty of people haven't. I mean, I've been given tags that I've never used.
I have such a trouble doing that because I always feel like I've done it before and I like always have to like preface it by like, by the way, I loved the joke.
Yeah.
Like the joke was so good. Like I just had a like thought for you, you know? And it's funny because I feel like when I'm in those shoes and someone's like, hey, have you ever thought of like doing it this way? I'm always like, no, I've never thought of that. Maybe I'll like, I've never offended. Like, obviously I'm not freaking like at this stage in my career, like Chappelle or anything. I don't think anything that I've written is like completely sound.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you can't take it personal. And I used to have that same thought, like why the fuck would they want to know what I think?
Yeah.
You know, but I want to know what other people think about my shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, please tell me. And if I don't use it, I mean, it's nothing personal. It just doesn't fit in the thing.
Yeah.
You know?
You ever get a bad tag though?
Oh yeah.
Where
Yeah.
like someone will be like, okay, hey, I have this idea for your joke. What if at the end of the joke, the guy in your joke poops? What if he poops though?
You're like, what?
And
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to go, oh yeah, man.
Maybe.
You have to give them their creds and be like, oh, that's smart.
I'll try that.
Totally try that. And then
Absolutely.
and then you try it and it just murders.
Yeah, that too. You're like, fuck.
And
He
now
was
every time,
right about the poop thing.
every time you say the line and it murders, you like get angry. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, you think about that? How you wrote that line off? You thought, I'm above poop jokes. Damn it, they loved it. The crowd loved it.
The whole joke is bombing, and then you're like, and then he poops. Oh! You're like, fuck.
God damn it. This guy's a comedic genius. And I didn't even know. When did you guys move to LA?
Dude, 4.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, August 2020.
The middle of the pandemic.
Dude, that sounds probably like, I don't know, the worst time to move to LA.
It was.
It sure
It
was.
was, but it
sure
needed.
That was the moment y'all were like, yeah, let me move from
Well, a couple things happened.
Yeah.
from a state that lets me do whatever I want.
Yes.
To a state where I can't do shit.
If we talk about this too much, I'll like light a building on fire. I will crash out on this, but Ryan can set it up a little better.
Those were dark times. So we started comedy in Nashville, and like before the pandemic thing.
Yeah.
And we had decided, hey, like this time next year, we're moving to LA. So we're doing comedy and like we're like moving. It's like in the books.
Yeah.
Pandemic hits in like April or May, and we're like, oh fuck, do we still move? And we were like, yeah, this will probably blow over. So we're like, we're moving anyways. We already decided to move.
I remember saying out loud, like, dude, this won't even be a thing in 4 months.
Yeah.
And it was just like 2 years.
And then so
Oh my God.
August, and like we were really thinking like, should we wait this out? It'll probably be a few more months. Like, do we wait this out?
Yeah.
And we were like, nah, dude, fuck it. We already committed to this. Let's just go. We move here in August. The next month, his apartment that I was staying in caught on fire and burnt down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
If we had waited, if we had gone like, let's play it safe, wait it out, we would have lost everything. And then probably not moved here.
Dude, that's like those 9/11 stories where someone's like, "Oh yeah, I was late for the bus," and then 9/11 happened. And
Yeah. Us moving to LA,
That's you
to LA
guys.
and their 9/11 stories are like on the same tier. It's basically the same thing.
It was as bad as 9/11.
Yeah.
That was our 9/11.
I know you could have been on fire.
My old apartment in Nashville burning to the ground was like my building 7, personally.
A planned explosion.
Yeah.
We blew it up. We blew the building up.
No, but I remember waking up to that text from my old roommate, who I'm not gonna fucking name.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Dude, you're not gonna believe this," and he sent me a bunch of pictures. He's like, "The whole place burned down. I have to move out."
Yeah.
And the fire started from this like electrical box that was like in the ceiling above where my bedroom was, and so like,
Oh my God.
all my
All
shit,
his valuables.
everything fucking gone. And that was like 4 months after we moved out here, so it was like a sign from God.
And that's what would have happened if we played it safe.
Yeah.
We were debating.
Oh my fucking God.
Maybe we just play it safe, and then the fucking building burns down. So then we get here in August 2020, and we're like, all right, maybe it's still a few more months of this.
Yeah.
A fucking whole year and a half, maybe. There was no mics.
Doing mics on Zoom, basically.
Wow, we
Was
did
that a
no,
thing? Was
dude.
that a thing?
I don't know. I refuse to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That would be so.
But yeah, we
weird.
just got like just lame jobs to pass the time, and then like straight
Yeah.
up didn't do stand up for a full year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why it's always weird when people say like how long have you been doing comedy?
Yeah.
It's like there's this weird gap in the middle.
No,
Yeah.
there's a weird gap at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because we were only like a year in when we moved out here, and then we took longer than a year off and had to like start over again, like get
Dude.
back into it.
That kind of sucks.
It sucked a lot.
That sucks a lot. Also, as soon as you were saying it, so when I first moved here, I did like kind of PA work around. I was just, I probably did it for like 3 or 4.
Where'd you move here from?
Sets. So I went to Virginia, UVA, and then it's actually my whole time there, like I interned for the Colbert Show, which was really cool. So like I had always known that I wanted to work in comedy, and I had always thought that it was obviously, as talent as opposed to anything else. But I was kind of in the zone where I was like, okay, I like actually want to like, try and see if I want to be a producer, because obviously that's a more, stable route, especially as a young person. But like my entire senior year of college, like I had a really serious girlfriend, and like the whole time I was like planning on moving to LA kind of, but she lived in Philadelphia. So like kind of New York was also in my head, and a lot of my friends moved to New York. And as soon as we graduated, like 3 weeks later, she breaks up with me. And within a week I was in LA.
Wow.
So like it's kind of ridiculous, because it's like, dude, my girlfriend broke up with me, and then I'm like, screw it. I'm literally all the way across the country in a plane, just like landing.
You're like geographically, what's the farthest I can get away from Pennsylvania?
Yeah, exactly.
On a map?
Exactly.
Hawaii's out of the question. You're like,
And if you're listening, I still love you. No, I'm just kidding.
Please call me, please.
Please. She's not fucking listening.
you should send her this pod.
I know.
Like, who the fuck
I'm
are
still
these guys?
thinking about you, baby. But actually,
Jesus.
actually unrelated. When we broke up, and I feel like a lot of people have this problem, she broke up with me, and I immediately was like, and there was no malice, or I wasn't like pissed at her or anything. I loved her, so that sucked. But I immediately was like, okay, well, we can't text at all then, because like,
Yep.
Yeah,
If-
shut it down.
I have so many friends that keep stuff going, and it just screws them because they never get over that person. And it's like the only way, honestly, in my opinion, that you can get over a person is just by going cold turkey in terms of texting.
It has to be everything. Just delete block the number, block the Instagram.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh, so you've been there before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can hear that.
Oh yeah. Block it all and then just fucking nose to the grindstone. Just charge forward into what you want to do.
Yeah. That's so true.
It's kind of like killing a person weirdly. You just have to like pretend they never existed.
Yeah.
And then you start this whole new part of your life.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so true. That is such a
They are dead. They are. I mean, it essentially. I mean, they're dead to you.
Yeah,
now.
I legitimately could not tell you what she's up to now. Wish her well, but it's so weird. Like, you know, you live with this person basically, and then all of a sudden they're gone.
Yep.
See, I do the opposite. I wish all my exes bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
I hope they're doing poorly, actually. I hope they're doing worse than me.
I hope they're struggling
Yeah,
financially.
if you're one of Hayden's exes and you listen to his podcast,
Please call him.
He's
Please
doing,
call him.
Please call me.
he's doing very well.
I haven't felt a woman's touch in years. Please.
I just want a hug.
My exes are cool, by the way. I just want to say that for the record.
What's her name?
No,
we won't talk about it. But but yeah, so my only like reference for LA was New York because I feel like people compare the two a lot. But it's
they're
just
always
not,
brought up in the same sentence, New York, LA.
And but someone told me, and I'm so curious how this, you know, how you experienced this during COVID. But I moved here and I had no friends at all. Obviously, I don't know anyone here other than like two people.
Same.
We only knew each other.
And someone told me that immediately they go, LA's one of the hardest cities to move to because not only most people who move here don't have any friends because they want to work in entertainment, but B, it's so spread out that it's a lot. Like if you live in New York, for example, there's bars within, 100 feet from you, you know, but in LA, it's like most of people live like fucking 40 minutes away from each other in a drive. So it's like, you might see them once every 3 weeks in your first time being out here, but you just like, you can't make time for everyone unless you're
you gotta really love somebody to drive out to Pasadena on a weekday.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not like a central, like, everyone's either in their cars or at their apartments.
But for stand-up, there is. It's like the open mic. It's the clubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point.
So that helped out a lot.
And we all live in or around Hollywood. Like, I feel like I haven't met much people that are like, oh yeah, I live in Venice. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Everyone I know like lives around here too.
yeah. But was that tough for y'all? Like, did you guys, like, when you got here during COVID, like, were you like, was there a big period where you're like, we don't know anyone because no one's fucking doing it?
Well, yes, but also we had each other.
True.
So, and that's a power up. That's like the best because, I mean, I don't get lonely. We're always together. We're always hanging out, and it's like I don't feel a need to go out and meet people or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't meet anybody for like the first year that we were living here, and it wasn't until like everywhere started to open back up that we started like meeting friends in different places. But it was all at like comedy clubs and open mics.
Yeah. That's it. I guess comedy clubs are a really easy way because it took me like a few months to actually start doing it. You know, I got out here.
But like, you moved out here like alone.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Legitimately, my first roommate here, he doesn't live in LA. He's the man, but anymore he is a teacher now in Connecticut. But I legitimately met him through a friend of a friend that I went to college with, and he texted me, like I said, me and my girlfriend broke up. He texted me. He goes, dude, I'm going to sign an apartment in like 2 weeks, and if you don't sign, then I'm gonna find another person, because he was in LA. He was like couch surfing, and so finally, like, I talked to my parents, and I'm like, and I had money saved, and I'm like, all right, fine, dude, I'm in. Like, I don't know you at all, but yeah, I was like, it almost did feel like the universe was speaking to me to some degree, because I was like, dude, it's like, I don't know, I need to get out of here. And
that's so cool.
I don't think I'd be doing comedy if I stayed in New York, because a lot of my friends like are, you know, working banking jobs and stuff like that. So I think I would have tried, and then I would have been like, screw this, you know, it's too hard. And
yeah,
I'm glad that I kind of shifted course and moved somewhere else.
I think it was better to do that, because we had a similar thought. We were doing stand up in Nashville, and like, it was fun and stuff. But if we had like really tried to go for it, at home, it would have been too comfortable. And, you know, my buddies would go like, you know, hey, we're hitting the lake today. You want to come? It's like, of course I want to come.
Yeah.
I would have done like less mics. It's just too comfortable.
Yeah.
And to move out here, it's like I don't have an excuse now.
Yeah. Like
You know? And I'm like, you're working some shitty day job.
Yeah.
And you're like, I fucking moved out here to do comedy. Let's go do some comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost forces your hand.
You guys are both working day jobs, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what's weird is when you, like, I did Rodney's in New York, and I had a great freaking set. It was awesome, and like all
Didn't
of my
they close
friends.
that place down now?
They closed it. It was Dangerfields, and they closed it down during COVID, and then within the past year they reopened it as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Wow.
But I crushed, and it was for like 175 people, and Shang Forbes was like the headliner, and he just kills, and he was like so nice to all of us afterwards. Like said I had a nice set, which was really cool. And then like 2 days later, I flew home the next day, and then I'm back. And then a day later, like, I'm just wrapping sandwiches again.
Yep.
And I'm just, like, a human again. And I'm like, this is so... I felt like that kind of, like, transition is just, like, so weird every time.
Yeah, that's what nobody talks about is, like, the peaks and valleys in comedy are so far apart.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. You'll have, like, an awesome set one night, and then, like, within 12 hours, you're like, back at your day job, like, I don't even want to be here. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You go from, like, feeling like the king of the world to, in a very short amount of time, being like, I should kill myself. What the hell?
I had a killer show once. I forget where. Probably the Hotel Cafe. I hit every joke the way I wanted it.
Yeah.
Like wanted to hit it, and I got big laughs. And the next morning, I was at work, like unclogging a toilet.
Yep. and you're
I'm
like, they don't know.
Yeah, they have no idea I killed it last night.
They don't fucking know.
They have no idea I just murdered last night. The opposite is true, though, also. I'm at work, and I'm, like, quiet. They're like, what's wrong, Ryan? I fucking bombed last night. I'm like, I just slept weird. Sorry. Nothing. Forget about it.
Honestly, that's what's funny about comedies. I feel like, well, at least before I started getting into it, like, you know, I went to my first open mics and I was just eating shit. And I was like, oh, I completely suck. This is not for me. But it's like, I didn't realize that like a lot of famous comedians bombed a lot. Like every comedian ever bombs. But I feel like no one who's not a comedian knows that. Mm-hmm. So like when I take my friends who aren't, like to shows, for instance, they'll see people that I think are magnificent comedians in our realm of people, and they'll be bad and bomb, and then my friends will be like, that guy was fucking horrible. And it's so weird because I'm like, no, he's actually really good. You just like didn't catch him on a good night. You know?
Yeah, you can't score every time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's comics, there's great every comic today still has like rough sets. It's not like a bomb.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't like bombed where I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah,
like
sweating.
Yeah.
I haven't had a bomb like that
That's the worst.
in a while. But
Cue
like
me
I have
going
that
up
too.
tomorrow
Ever
night.
happen
Here we
to y'all
go.
Where you're like, and you're like fumbling every word.
Not in a while, but
Not in a very long time. But like,
Starting out, yeah.
I've been there.
oh god. And then you even address it, and that bombs. You know, when you're bombing, but you're like, all right, well, I'm bombing. I'll address it. That'll get me a laugh. Nope. More bomb.
That's like the easiest way to get out of a bomb too. And like if that bombs, you're like, oh, they even hate it when I'm just a regular person.
Yep.
Like that's like hatred. They're like, no, fuck you. Like you're not even funny when you make fun of not being funny.
Mm-hmm. You address that you're bombing, and they go, yes. Yep.
You ever try to like bomb cocky and like you're up there, you're just eating shit, and you're like, all right, I got these 2 jokes in my back pocket that I know work. Like these have I've done this at the Improv. Like this will fucking work. You do it flat, and you're just like, oh, and then you start to sweat. You're like, oh no. You start panicking a little bit. You're like, but that was my ace in the hole. What the fuck?
Addressing it that's bombing 101. That's lesson 1.
Yeah.
I mean, I had like a not good set. I guess it was a kind of a bomb. One joke worked at the Hollywood Comedy like a month ago. Mm-hmm. It was like my first mic back since like we flew home for like Christmas and New Year's, and then the fires happened. So like I didn't touch a stage for like a month,
Yep.
which is way too long.
It kills you.
Went to the
I
Hollywood
did that
Comedy,
recently.
fucking bombed. And like I went up with not like knowing I was gonna bomb, like that whole thing. And then just walked off stage, sat down in my little chair with my little notepad, like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And then just drove home.
Scribbling notes.
God, my stupid little notepad.
Rehearsing.
Ugh, God. Yeah, you gotta remember to do the joke. If a joke starts working, you can't start saying it like as if it's gonna work.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
still say it with the hesitance of like the first time.
Shane gave me a really good piece of advice.
Shane
Bianchi.
Gillis?
No, not Shane Gillis. I don't know Shane Gillis. No, different Shane. He gave me a really good piece of advice on that because I was talking to him. I was like, I have a couple of jokes that like they worked really well the first 2 times, and then I
Yeah.
just did them to death, and they just fell off a cliff and stopped working.
Yeah.
And he was like, just put it on a shelf for like a year. I was like, a year? He's like, yeah, just don't tell it for like a whole year, and then come back to it.
Really?
Yeah, just like let it cool off for a little while.
What-
And
Not
you'll-
even a little while, a long time.
You'll write new stuff, and then
Yeah.
eventually you'll be like, all right, let me try this one again.
That is so interesting.
And then you actually do say it like, I don't know how this is gonna go.
Yeah, you forget how to tell it even, so it's like brand new for the first time.
Yeah. Dude, that is fascinating. I'm literally, as you say that, I'm like thinking of like 3 things, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna put those on a shelf.
Right?
maybe.
Like don't a few jokes come to mind where you're like, I
Yeah.
should stop saying that.
Yeah,
You're right.
because I'm like, oh, those I think and still think that those were funny, but just like I'm not doing them the right way right now, you know?
Yeah, shelve it, let them cool off, and you'll write new stuff, and you'll get really excited about this new stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between like a joke that is really good and works, and like you just overdo it, like kind of what we're
Yeah.
talking about, versus a joke that you really want to work that never works.
Yeah.
Because like there are a couple
Yeah.
jokes that like I'm in love with and I think it's hilarious. Just every single time, no one buys in.
Yep.
And so eventually you just got to go, well, I guess I'm just retarded. I guess this joke
Yeah.
is just not funny.
I guess this joke just blows.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said that you personally find it funny though, because I've often found that the ones that I think are funny, I'm laughing at because I do laugh at myself, and then I've noticed when I do them and I'm like genuinely, you can see in my eyes that I think what I'm saying is funny. Like then people sometimes follow, you know.
Yeah, if you're having a good time,
Yeah, people love that.
the
shit.
audience
Like,
will laugh and like you.
Yeah,
If you're really having a good time up there.
that's a really good point.
Also, if you're just up there like rehearsing, even if they're good jokes, if you're just up there like saying the words with no like emotion or expression, or it's like they can smell that on you too.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't even care about what you're saying.
Yep.
You don't even care about your own jokes.
Dude, that's why I love Cat Williams. Like I think, I mean, he's probably my favorite stand-up comedian of all time.
Wow.
I probably have like 5 that I really am like obsessed with, and he's one of them. And it's like none of his bits are like, I feel like there's stand-up comedians who, you know, you look at and you're like, that is so like clever wording, etc. But and I think everything that he says is clever. I'm not saying that, but you know, in his specials, it's just like he truly it's like preaching, you know.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I think A, which means B is true, which means C has to relate to A, but he's doing it in a way that's just like, oh, he's just talking. Like this is him, you know? So I fucking like, I don't know. Who do you guys like? I meant to ask you all that. If you each had like a top 4 or 5.
I'm a huge fan of Bill Burr. He was like the first comic that I found. When I was in like middle school, that's when like the Dane Cook, all of his stuff came out.
Yeah.
But like my first like foyer into comedy was through like Bill Burr and his podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always liked the guy. I always like related to him, especially like earlier him when he was like angry a lot.
Yeah.
I relate to that. I get mad at most stuff.
Dane was hilarious. Mm-hmm. I remember Dane. Yeah, when Dane blew up, I didn't even like really know what stand-up comedy was.
Yeah.
I was in like 8th grade.
Yeah, but I would watch him and I go, this guy's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I remember that too. Isn't it crazy? Like it's like, have you seen him do a set live now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like it's
last
crazy.
year.
We could. I saw it, you know, recently, like 3 months ago. It's great. Like we can just see that now that we live here. You know?
Still killing.
Yeah, still murdering.
What about you? Is Cat Williams number 1?
I'd say it's actually funny. I just started watching him recently, so he's and that's how much I like what I've seen from him. That he would be in. Actually, Cole Clayman told me to take a look at him, and I started watching his stuff, and I love it. And I would legitimately say he's probably my favorite or one of my top 5s at this point. But I would probably go him, and then I'd say probably Robin Williams, Adam Sandler. More comedic. I haven't really watched his stand up much, but definitely one of my heroes. And then Steve Martin.
Yeah.
And I gotta think about that last person. But I've seen like every. Have you read Steve Martin's book by any chance?
No.
Dude, will like blow your mind. Honestly.
It's born standing up, right?
Yeah, some of the stuff he like talks about in terms of, you know, starting off in stand up and like, you know, open micing and like not in what he was trying to do. He like kind of describes that he was kind of looking at comedy from like a different lens because they were doing a ton of political comedy when he started off, and he was like doing very silly shit. So it was kind of like a sense of relief from everyone who was doing really political, you know, harsh comedy, and he was just like the goofy guy that was like doing like magic tricks and shit like that. But it's like his book is truly fascinating because he like definitely talks about all the hard times he has, and he actually was someone that was doing Tonight shows and like did not like talks about in his book like I did not pop off of my first Tonight show and everyone was. So it was like very troubling for him because he's like, why am I the one that's not popping off of it, you know?
Yeah, his whole thing was like he was like making fun of a comedian.
Yes, to some degree, yes.
Yeah, he was
the first, I guess what you would say, alternative comedian to some degree.
That makes a lot more sense now that I know you, and like now that I see your, that makes sense. Yeah, Steve Martin, Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I love Adam Sandler.
That makes Bo a lot more clear.
But I think actually I'm not gonna. I was gonna spoil the ending for you, but I want you to read the book.
I do want to read that book.
I won't. It's you will. As somebody that like does this, especially like you will really appreciate some of the stuff that he wrote down, I would say. And I get paid 10% off of every book they sell. So Steve Martin's book.
Hell yeah.
Promo code
No, I
Bo.
don't. Yeah, promo code.
I read Jerry Seinfeld's book.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was good. It was really good. I like how he breaks down comedy, and I like how he's very meticulous with it. Everything's got to be in its place.
Yeah.
It's very perfect, just perfectly put together.
Just like his act, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit! It's like someone told me that he used to like fucking like record like different synonyms and see if like even like a synonym of a word like worked better. Like that's such like meticulous detail to it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy attention to detail. Now, I think that you can do that too much, and then it becomes robotic.
Yep.
You need to have like some attitude, and like whatever your thing is.
Yeah.
Needs to be in the joke.
Yeah.
But I love the like the work ethic of like, I need to figure out this joke like it's a job.
Yeah.
It is a job.
Yeah.
Instead of just going up there and just kind of like, what else is going on? Hey, nice
Right.
shirt. Nice. What? Hey, where are you from? It's like, what are you talking about?
I totally agree.
Why are you asking me where I'm from? Do some comedy.
Also, I love the diligence too of figuring out like what specific word works.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what the joke is. Sometimes like whatever the setup is, using the number 9 is funnier than just saying 10. And I don't know what does that make sense?
Yeah, no, you're right.
I
I
love the
totally know
numbers.
what you mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's completely amorphous. I don't even know what that is, but sometimes
Yeah.
if you're just like, and then it's like, these 9 things, it's like the number's funnier.
Yeah.
Or even like the name of like a hypothetical story.
Yeah.
It's like Kyle, all right, but like Tim's kind of a funnier name.
Yeah.
48 is a funny number.
But yeah, 48's funny, 50 isn't.
Yeah, I don't know why, but something about the 48. I ate 48 hot dogs.
Yeah.
Something about 48's hilarious. If you ever need to use a number, go with 48.
Have you guys ever taken an improv class?
No.
No. That would
You
make
said
me
that with such disgust.
an improv,
No.
an improv class would make me so upset.
Yeah, that's the thing. If I went into an improv class and they're all like, just like way too, give me a place.
Yeah.
Hey. They're all like too into it. I'd sit in the back and just like scowl and be mad.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yes, and how about no?
it's,
Shut the fuck up.
I think so I take classes at the Groundlings, and yeah, so basically fuck you for shitting on it. And I have to beat the shit out of you. But I think you guys would actually have so fun in one of the classes.
Dude, here's the thing.
I think you would.
We
like,
would probably be kind of good at it.
Yeah.
You would. You guys are comics, so it's
Like not to be cocky or anything, but like that's just what we do around the apartment all day anyway.
Yeah.
It's all just bullshit bits.
All we do is bits.
I can tell you it helps with stand up a lot, I would say.
What do you think is like the most interesting thing that you took away from improv classes that you use like on stage, like for stand up?
I would say being active. You know, that was my. I mean, when I started stand up, I was always kind of that way. Like I genuinely would consider myself just a hyper person in general, but that I did have so much fucking stage fright immediately because I wasn't used to performing at all, and that got rid of that completely, you know, or not completely, but to a certain degree. And I think if you are a person that does like to do stuff on the spot sometimes, take an improv class immediately because it will help you think on the spot completely. But it's honestly so funny when improv bombs because it's just like they're stuck there. Like you're like
Yeah. At least with stand up you can go like, it didn't work. Fuck it. There's a very quick parachute out of like stuff not working.
Exactly. And when you, like I said, if in improv, if I say something because it's yes and, your character just immediately has to respect that that's the law of the land now, if that makes sense.
That's wild.
So if I'm like, oh my God, like this is what sucks is like if me and you are in a scene and like you don't really like me that much and I'm like, oh my God, the floor's on fire. Now you're fucked because you have to pretend, you have to just get up and go like this the whole time. And you're like, maybe you didn't want to do that when you woke up.
Yeah, if you really hated someone, you could rope them into like some
Yeah.
stuff.
It's like, hey, can you pass me a beer? Oh my God, 10 guys with guns just ran in. Really? Okay? Fuck. It's like, oh no, they're shooting diarrhea. You have diarrhea on you now. It's like, what? Oh, dude.
Someone's like, they hit the second tower.
Well,
You're like, wait a minute, no, they didn't.
Well, that would probably get a note.
Would that go? No,
It would, because they would be like, you're not, like, you're just being an idiot. Like, they're like, mantra would be like, oh, you want to find comedy in like a scene that's almost you're not trying to be funny in, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And it is magical when they do work because you're like, oh shit, we just like came up with that, and like that was kind of a funny sketch in a way, you know. But when they don't work, it's the most awkward fucking thing ever.
I do love the idea of like the improv guy that just keeps wrapping it around to poop. Like,
Yeah.
Like
That's a funny bit.
They keep trying to get out of it. They're like, we're in a Starbucks now, and it's like, oh my God, the barista shit all over the bar thing. She's like, damn it, Craig, quit wrapping it back around to shit.
Drop it, okay? No more shit, dude. Or like someone. So you're at a fucking restaurant and someone walks in and you're like, oh, there's Craig. He always says the N-word.
Yeah, balls in your court.
It's the only word he can say is the N-word. It's like,
yeah, then what the hell does Craig do, dude? He's backed into a corner.
You're pointing at your partners.
Yeah. Here's N-word Craig. He always says that. It's like, really, man? It's yes and.
Yeah, how do you even get it? I would be like, just once or twice. Or you just really sell the bit.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Hey, look, you got to stick to the bit.
He just commits.
Improv would be fun, but the comic in me would just want to ruin it.
I know, and I get that.
And
I would have phrased like, I would have thought of you as a guy like that.
I would have wanted to watch it really burn down.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit of a cunt. If I could just be less of a cunt, I could.
That place is crazy though, because I did go to a show there just to watch, and you know, the walls are lined with like old alum of the Groundlings, and it's like, dude,
That's like Will Ferrell.
so many fucking famous ass people were Groundlings at one point, you know. It's crazy. I mean, like Jimmy Fallon and Melissa McCarthy and like, it's just yeah. It's the same way, you know, like when you're going around open mics and you're like looking at our friends and it's crazy. Like I've thought before, I'm like, damn, like we're hopefully gonna have careers and this is gonna be weird to look back on when, you know, you're doing a shitty bar show for like 4 people. You know?
God willing.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, hopefully. But it's just like,
I do see that, and I'll get nervous some nights if it's like, even if it's like an open mic, but like you see a stacked lineup of like all your buddies, you're like, fuck, they're good.
yeah,
They're really fucking good. I gotta like bring an A game tonight.
yeah, that's so true.
That's what I hope the Zebra Room turns into, is like what Badger and Jam was.
It is.
Was that like Badger and Jam, a little now, but not as much. Back then, Badger and Jam, like the lineups were insane, and
Yeah.
this was an open mic, and
Yep.
like I'm there to like work out new stuff, but like sometimes there'd just be killers, and I'm like, I gotta kind of bring some heat, but also I need to do some work here, so you slip
Yeah.
in one new joke.
Oh, I've panicked before.
I have too.
You go in there, you're like, I'm just working on all this new stuff. Like I need to get this stuff working
Yeah.
because I've been doing. And then you go in there and you see like the lineup and everybody in the room, and the first 3 people in a row kill, and you're like, you scrap it. You're a coward. You're like, fuck this.
Yeah,
whatever.
you're like, I'm doing all the old shit, and then
Yeah.
that tanks too, and you're like,
yeah,
God,
because
I
they've all
just-
heard it before, and you're
Yeah,
like, I should have stayed home.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, in those instances, I guess sometimes it's better just to do the new stuff because it's like at least you have a chance of them laughing. Versus the old stuff, it's like, oh yeah, everyone fucking fucking heard that.
You know how
before.
it'll happen like once in a blue moon, like a open mic will just randomly come together where it's literally just a room full of like us and all our buddies.
Yeah.
It's like everyone that's heard all your old stuff, so it's like forcing your hand. It's like now you have to do the new stuff.
Yeah.
It's like you have to rise to the occasion and be like, all right, I have to do new stuff, and now it has to work, or it's gonna be very embarrassing.
Yeah.
I did the last mic we did a couple days ago at the Zebra Room. It was mostly people we know, and I did all new stuff, and some of it didn't really work, but some of it kind of worked. There's like inklings of like this could be a bit,
Yeah.
but it is tough. Like, and it seems like it should be the opposite. It's like, oh, it's all my buddies, they'll laugh. It's like actually kind of not the same.
Yeah.
It's like you want strangers.
I
That's what
think
comedy is.
Yeah. This is something I've thought for a while. Do you think stand-up is conversationally funny? Because I think sometimes it is, but I've tended to realize that, well, the fact that people are at the show and they've had a few drinks and they want to watch comedy and they know what stand-up is, that's what makes it a separate art form from just like, oh yeah, running through a stand-up joke sometimes. I don't know.
I don't think so, because you ever try to say a bit in conversation and it like always bombs.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
I guess that's just for me. It's tough because then I'm like up and I'm like trying to show them like an act out, and they're like, "What the fuck is going
Yeah.
on?" Right?
Like I don't do that, but
Yeah.
I've almost like seen it been done. It's like you need the guy on the stage and the people listening.
Yes.
It's not like it's not a conversation. It's one way.
Yes.
And then when someone gets up and tries to make it a 2-way thing, you shoot them down.
Yeah.
It needs to be like, dude, like the presenter and the listeners.
Yeah.
You can't like explain your joke to somebody.
Yeah.
Like so what I do is, if someone's like, you got any new bits? I'm like, yeah, I got a bit on water fountains. I don't like do the bit. I tell them the premise of the bit.
On water fountains. What?
It's good.
Is that a joke that you have? Right?
Yeah. I'm cooking up a great water fountain joke.
That's so funny that's I got a bit on lava lamps.
Just you wait. My water fountain
love-
joke is gonna be big, folks.
Dude, that happened to us one time. We were at this after party after like I think it was like one of Brian's shows, or maybe it was EJ's, I forget.
Yeah.
And then like this drunk chick came up and found out that we were all comics, and same thing. She was just like, "Well, do a bit.
Tell me a joke."
Tell me one of your jokes."
it's
and
so
we were
annoying.
like, it doesn't work like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
She's like, "No, you're so funny." Just like drunk chick. She's like,
Yeah.
"You're so funny. If you're so funny, tell me one of
Yeah.
your jokes."
You're not being very funny. It's like because I'm not in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It
I'm a
doesn't-
dick.
That's not how that works. I'm a dick.
Dude, that's a big misconception of comedians, is that like sometimes I'm so shocked of how unfunny I can actually be
Yep.
off stage.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Like, I'm
yeah.
not-
Because you're just a human at the end of the day. Like,
People think I'm walking around with a fucking red nose on,
Yeah. Yeah.
zinging one-liners.
Hey, you want to hear about water fountains?
Yeah, aren't these weird? weird. Look at these. It's like,
with a full clown costume on.
yeah. It's like, no,
Like
dude,
itching your neck.
I'm quiet. I'm a quiet guy. And I, when I'm up on stage, I get to say all the things I didn't all day.
Yeah.
That's the
I
thing.
could picture you like that.
I wake up, I speak
All
to
right,
no
it's
people.
fucking water fountain time as you're getting on stage. I've held this in all day.
I did. I did, dude. Like, it's almost upsetting, like, how unfunny I can be to, like, my coworkers. They're like, I guarantee you, there's people who, like, they're sold that I'm, like, not funny.
That's surprising to me, to tell you the truth.
But it's because I'm
Every
funny
time
on
I've hung
stage.
out with you, you are very funny.
Well, thank you.
Off stage. And maybe that's because we're friends. Because I know I've had like.
And you're a comic, that helps.
Yeah, that's true.
But like day to day, I'm quiet.
Yeah, like the coming up with that joke, you don't see the water fountain and go, oh, and this and now this. You see the water fountain. You see the water fountain. You look at it, and then not even out loud in your head, you go, "That's kind of weird." And then that's the joke. That's the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't walk into a room like there's no business like show business.
Just tap dancing all over the place.
Can I guess your water fountain bit?
Yeah.
So you're sitting there at the fountain. I'm trying to think. I'm doing my space work and everything, but
Yeah.
it's just. Is it that they're gross? Does it have something to do with that they're just
No.
vile
No,
things?
it's sillier than that.
It's
I'm
insanely.
Do you have
silly.
any shows this weekend?
No.
Ah, shit. I want to see it.
Maybe I hit an open mic.
Yeah.
Maybe we hit the same open mic.
Yeah.
It's. I kind of want to tell you, but I won't. It's really silly.
Do you write out the bits? Do you write out like the tags and everything for them, or do you just write a word and you're like, oh yeah,
I'll write
water fountain?
water fountains, and then the premise of what's silly about them, and then I'll go on stage and I'll say it the same way my thought was. Like it's my first few times doing a joke, it's very messy.
Yeah.
Super messy. It's like almost like I'm just telling you guys, like, isn't this weird? It's like literally like the hackiest, like, isn't it weird how? And then over time you turn it into a joke.
Yeah.
And then it is a piece of material.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I do write things down. I think Devos always jokes around that me writing a joke is just me going like this. Stretch, like getting ready to run around. But I do think that I would like to work like that more, where it's like, or what we talked about Jerry Seinfeld doing, which is like, oh, this word works better, this word works better. And I hope that at some point I get more like that. But I think my stuff is like, we'll say something out loud and then I'll be like, oh, that's really funny, and I will write it fully down, and then I'll be like, oh, what if I added this like accent to it, or like I did this like, you know, stupid thing, or added this like act out or whatever it is. But I think my first few times, like, or like first 4 months doing stand up, I legitimately didn't know how to write a joke at all. And it was weird because like I, you know, was at the open mics watching other people do stand up, and I was like, I don't fucking know how to do this. Like my brain immediately went to more like sketchy stuff or like bits that I thought were funny, you know?
In the beginning, I would write the whole thing out like word for word, like, this is how you say the joke.
Yes, exactly. And it's, did you find it weird how like you do that and then you don't remember the cadence or how you said it, and then obviously nerves on stage change things, and then you're like, oh, this sucks. But it's like, and sometimes I've thought to myself, I'm like, no, this isn't not funny. I just don't remember how the fuck I said it in the time period. So sometimes I will like record myself saying it so I can get that down, you know?
Yeah, and then it just becomes like the word. It's just like water fountains. And then you know the major points to hit in the joke, and you just like dance around it a different way each time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a good point. It's crazy because sometimes you do it and it crushes, and then the next time you do something that you didn't write down or think about doing that you add to it, and you're like, oh shit, that was like even better. And like, it's weird. I heard a comedian who, I think it was Bert Kreischer on a podcast recently, was like, I did this joke and I filmed the special, and then the next week I had like another tag that I just randomly said on stage, and I was like, oh my god, that's
Wow.
so much better. But I already filmed the special, so
That
I
would
couldn't
be
even
so
use
annoying.
it.
Yeah, that would ruin you. dude. You would explode at that.
I got hot.
Do you have like OCD with stuff like that? I feel like.
It's not. Yes, I guess so, but not. Yeah, actually, it may be so.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm like an OCD guy. I just like. There's a way to do something,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna do it that way.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I know what you mean.
That's why people say like, you don't post clips. It's like I can do that better. I can say that better. I'm not gonna post this. Why would I post this clip?
Yeah.
It's not good. I'm not gonna post it.
Also, have you ever killed and then watched the tape later and you're like, I think I could do better than that even, you know?
That's every
Where
set,
we're in the moment and like I'm leaving stage and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have like clips galore. And then I get home and I watch it and like I'm like, oh, my voice makes me want to fucking kill myself. And then like everything about it, I'm like, no, this is not. Like everyone told me it was a good set, like whatever. But I'm like,
And it even
something
was
about it that like I can't sit with. You
It's
know?
because first off, it's because it's you watching you.
Yeah,
That's
true.
number one. But also, and people forget, stand-up is a live thing.
Yeah,
You are
Yeah.
supposed to watch it live, in the moment. There is like, yes, that's crazy. You brought that up. I have had like kill sets in packed out rooms.
yeah,
And I'm like on stage and I know it's good.
yeah,
And then you walk off stage, but then now you're looking at a phone, and you're looking at you. The feeling isn't there.
yeah.
There was a feeling in that
Yes.
room that's what the kill was.
It
And now
takes-
you're looking at a fucking iPad, looking at yourself. You're
Yeah.
like, it's gone.
I know.
Stand up is a live. You're supposed to watch it live,
I know.
and it's supposed to be like one and done. Like
Yeah. Okay, that was it.
That
And
was
now
my thing. Good
move
night.
on.
you're not supposed to fucking look at a clip 100 times. I don't know.
You've been thinking about this.
I have a lot of thoughts.
He's in the shower. The fucking clips.
Right. But I guess the way it is now.
It's funny to me that you guys have different styles, considering you guys grew up together, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain why you have different last names?
We don't.
Your name is Y. Last name is Y.
No, that's my middle name. My
Ah.
last name's Jennings. Do you want my fucking social security number? too?
No. But you know, I'm over here. I mean, you guys played it off. You it seemed like you were trying to trick me the whole time. Because I'm sitting here, I'm looking at your Instagrams and meeting you.
You don't know what it
And-
was? My Instagram name was already Hayden Wyckoff. And I didn't want to change it.
So you're a poser.
Basically, yeah. But also, I got the clean, just Hayden Wyckoff Instagram name before I even got into stand up, and I was like, I'm not making another account. I'll just go by this.
Yeah. And it's a family name. It's like an important family name.
Really? How important?
Pretty important.
Oh yeah. What's the what's the importance?
We're not gonna talk about our family, okay? You've exposed our
Dude,
answer.
I'm seeing so genuine. Like you want to talk about my family?
No, I have no interest in your family, Bo.
You're that mom. She's gonna watch the pod. I told her I was just calling her, and I told her I was doing a podcast with you guys. And
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
So, but I mean, I guess you guys. I mean, I guess you. Sorry, I didn't mean to hate her. So it's like I can't even get her to watch.
What's
it
your mom's
anymore.
name?
Melissa.
he said it. Oh my God.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
I bet she is. I bet she's a sweetheart. Your parents still together?
Yeah. Beautiful marriage.
Yeah, I bet.
Just beautiful. What's that?
You put that off. You give off my parents are still together vibes.
You do as well, even though I know that that's not true. But you give off that.
Yeah.
You both do. If I was from afar, I would be like, yeah, those people are in the same boat as me. Like we both have
Well, yeah, we were raised.
fun-loving families.
We were raised right.
You were, yeah.
Our parents' divorce was hard when it happened, but seriously looking back, it was like, oh, that was great.
Yeah,
Like,
it was-
we have two. I mean, not for them.
yeah, yeah. For them, it probably sucked, but like,
You're like, holy shit.
Dude, I'll look
Two
at-
Christmases?
yeah. But I'll look at my mom and dad today, and I'll just be like, of course. Like, how did they even have 4 children? What the fuck? Yeah.
Now we have 2 nice homes instead of one like with
Weird
tension.
one. Yeah.
Like I remember it being good, but I was like a kid, so everything
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah,
and then
you
it got like
fucking-
really bad like during the divorce when they were like still in the same house. And then they divorced, and it was like weird for a bit just because it's new.
Yeah.
But then,
Wait, how old were you when they got divorced?
7th grade.
27.
No.
It happened this morning. It's a tough day for me.
So your
yeah.
dad pulled you into like a room and you thought he's like gonna talk to you about puberty and he's like, yeah, me and your mom are splitting.
Pretty much.
You're like
Yeah.
right in those years.
Pretty much. He pulled us into a room and he said, "We need to have the talk." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Here it is.
Yeah.
What are boobies?" And he goes, "I don't love your mother." Which is,
Yes, father, I do have a pube.
yes.
Yeah, well, we're not talking about that.
Is this about the pube?
We're talking about your fucking mom and how much I hate her.
That was actually
Which wasn't at all this.
Yes, that's not true.
Of course not.
which is that was actually my first question after the divorce announcement. I was like, so are you gonna answer if like pee is stored in the balls or not? I was like, I didn't know. I was like, you're supposed to tell me these things.
But then after the divorce, like after like even maybe a year into them living separately, it was great. I mean, it was
Yeah.
awesome. And
So-
like it was weird going back every week, but
So
it was
they're not
fine.
angry at each other.
No, not at all.
No.
You guys, okay, that's good then. Because I feel like that's the fucking worst when they hate each other.
That's yes.
like,
Now, like deep down, you'll
Yeah.
never get that answer.
that's true. Especially
Okay.
not on a pod.
Of course not. But like no, they're like yes, like we've had lunch. They've been in the same room.
Yeah.
Together, get a lunch or go to it. Yeah, they were both at graduation.
Yeah.
They were all at all our wrestling shit.
Yeah.
Graduations, all that.
So how did they take it when what were your parents like when you said you wanted to do stand up?
Oh, they were like, go for it.
Yeah.
Hell
Fuck yeah.
They're
That's
like, just
exactly what
do
my
it.
parents did.
They fully support everything we do.
That's awesome. It's so sad, honestly, when you hear like people that parents like were anti that and like
Yeah.
are actually.
Yeah, well, they saw our grades. They were like, this is probably their best chance. This is probably the best shot they got. These kids are not doctors.
Dude, I think the funniest thing was I was already considering it like when I was at college and my girlfriend took me out to eat with her like grandparents and the guy's like a freaking Air Force veteran and stuff like that and he's like so what do you want to do? Like and he said something, he's like what are your plans for my daughter or something like that? And I go,
Wow.
dude, I think I'm going to move to LA and do fucking stand up. He's like, looks at me.
I bet he hated that.
Dude, it was so bad. Like so fucking bad. And, but here I am
Yep.
on this couch, this casting couch.
You're on the bombing podcast. If
Yeah.
he could see you now.
I know, dude. He probably, should I send this pod to him? Dude, check me out.
You were wrong about me. I'm on the bombing podcast. You dick. Tell your granddaughter to call me though.
Yeah, call me.
It's weird. It's like I'm really glad I have supporting parents.
Me too.
But there is that other thing where it's like, oh, my parents fucking wanted me to take this safe route, and that drove me to become successful at the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I ever make it, God willing, I'm not gonna have that story where it's like, and then they said I never make it. They were just
Yeah.
like, yeah, God, do it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
all right. So you don't have like that vengefulness. You're just
That's
like,
so funny.
oh, okay,
Okay.
all right, yeah, no, I'll do it. Yeah. There's no like hate driving it at all. It's just like something we like.
Everyone
doing.
saw it. Yeah, they were like, go for it. So I did it. And then that's your Emmys speech or whatever it is. And you
Sure.
just sit
Yeah.
down.
My parents were very supportive. Good night.
I love you guys.
Everyone said I'd always do it.
Everyone believed in me. Shit. That's so important
Exactly.
to be tight, like with your fam. Like, how are you with
Are
your
you
parents?
tight with all of your
Oh, the tightest.
with parents too?
Yes.
Ironclad.
There you go.
Ironclad. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't it amazing? I can tell. I will tell my mom or dad or Chucky. I'll tell them anything.
Chucky's close too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I will tell them anything that's going on.
Me too.
Like
I would.
I have no shame in it. There's nothing. It's like you guys are the people closest to me in life, I'm gonna tell you everything.
Yeah.
We're gonna be fully open. And it's the same with like our brothers, like the four of us. We are fucking ironclad.
Really?
Yeah. We talk. I mean, almost every day. We have a group chat that goes every day, and then we call every few days.
What's your brothers' names?
Ian and Brennan. Hayden, Ryan,
So
Ian,
is it
Brennan.
Ian Wyckoff and Brennan Brennan Jennings? Did you guys split that?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've told my parents like, yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've been to jail
Whoa.
and like even sex stuff. Like, I'll tell my mom like
Like you're in the pussy, around the pussy, doing fuck balls.
all that. I slept with this woman one time and I hurt my ball. And so I call my mom and I go, Mom, my ball hurts really bad. And she laughs at me, rightfully so. She laughs really hard and goes, okay, let's figure this out. Just does all this research. I thought it was testicular torsion, like where it
Yeah, that
turns-
happened to my cousin.
Oh, it's
Shout out
bad.
my cousin.
It's bad. You know, you have to get to the hospital like within like 30 minutes or the blood flow
You
cuts
said
off.
it's the most painful thing that's
And
ever
the nut
happened in
dies,
his
yeah.
life. Yeah.
So I thought it was that. So I was
A dead nut.
terrible.
Would you do a little casket?
A tiny little
Awesome.
open nut
Just
casket.
bagpipes as it goes down.
Yeah, and so I was really freaking out. I was like, "Is this?" And she was like, "It can't be that, or else you'd be writhing on the ground,
Yeah.
screaming."
Yeah, and that's legitimately how he was.
Yeah. And so it just turns out I just banged it around too hard, and I got long nuts.
So you turned a testicular torsion story into being like, "Oh, I'm the man."
I didn't say that. I just said I banged it
Here's the
around.
thing. Having a huge dick is cool. Having long nuts is not cool.
Not
like
cool.
that's
Yeah.
that's lame.
That's stupid.
That's a good point.
I also found out from my mother. Apparently, that runs in the family. Information I did not need to know.
Oh shit! So
Yep.
But-
so little Hayden's gonna have one.
I
too.
guess we got long sacks, dude. I don't know.
We're a big nut family, I guess. Pause. But I went to the hospital and I got it I just wanted to get it checked out. I got a fucking scan.
That happened to me one time.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was in high school, I have really bad my stomach. Everything hurts my stomach basically, but I've just learned to live with it. But if I'm really stressed out, then it gets worse. And I legitimately had my stomach was having contractions because it was so inflamed, like my intestines or whatever. And they thought maybe that was from something with my nuts, and they did that, and it's really awkward the whole time.
Oh yeah.
She's rubbing the fucking
The cold jelly.
yeah
Gel or whatever.
yeah, and you're like oh no. No, you're not like that at all.
So is it a boy or a girl? What's
Yeah.
going on?
I was lying on a table and 3 female nurses. One was holding the ball up in place. The other one was rubbing the gel, and
Yeah, she
and
was just giving you a hand.
pretty much. And then the third one was rubbing the ultrasound camera on it, and I was just on a table this is my life. This is what it's come to.
I wonder if anyone's ever gotten hard off of that, because you would have to think that there's one person that has.
I
and
bet. I was in
that's
so much pain I
hilarious.
couldn't.
Yeah,
couldn't
that's
imagine.
That's true too.
And it was cold, and it's just
Yeah.
Your dick's the smallest it's ever been.
Oh yeah, there's nothing
Like,
sexy.
That's what the awkward. You're like, I swear, if it was warm in here, it would be.
Yeah.
She's like, shut the fuck.
I'm at work. I don't care about your dick. Why am I trying to impress a nurse? But yeah, I told her about that, and she laughed. Our parents have great senses of humor too. Bo, thank you so much for coming on episode 123, bro.
Shout out 123.
Please email the podcast, bombingpodcast@gmail.com.
Bombing podcast.
Email us anytime you want, dude.
I'm gonna email.
We check the emails at
I'm
the
gonna
end.
comment, like, subscribe.
All that.
Maybe even throw us on your story at some point. That'd be fucking. I mean, is that so much to ask for?
It's not so much to ask for.
Seems very not irrational to me.
And we're looking forward to the next Bo show, dude.
That it's gonna come back and it's gonna be planned.
You got a date yet, or
No date yet, but
In the
I
near
just talked to
future.
Haley the other night, and we're gonna bring it back. But I want to do it more UCB style,
I got
where
you.
it's oh yeah, everything was sketchy-ish.
hell yeah?
That's my plan.
Well, if you'll have us, we'll be there, bro.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Tune in next
Thank you guys
week.
so much for watching.
Bo, thank you. dude.
Tune in next week.
Good night.
That was awesome. That was fucking yeah, dude. That ruled. That's gonna be a great app.